What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope you're all doing well. We have so much to talk about. Let's start with some MLB free agency. Deals are just dropping like flies at this point. But let's address the elephant in the room. Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has re-signed with the New York Yankees on a 9-year deal worth $360 million. What a monstrous contract. It's not coming without controversy, however. Yesterday, but probably in the later afternoon, maybe early evening, John Heyman, who's a very well-known MLB reporter, he tweeted out that Aaron Judge is signed with the San Francisco Giants. First of all, at first he called him Arson Judge. He spelled his name wrong. Then, a few minutes later, he tweets out, "The Giants have not heard from Aaron Judge. Sorry for jumping the gun." How do you fumble the bag that bad? This is maybe the biggest free agent in the history of the league. One of the biggest free agents in the history of the league. And you fumble the bag. Come on. He said, like, he was premature, and he heard from a source, but it wasn't like an official source. Like, if you're not hearing from your Aaron Judge himself, Aaron Judge's agent, maybe Aaron Judge's family, if you somehow hear from one of his family members, his father, mother, father, sibling, whatever, or someone connected to the San Francisco Giants, whether that be a reporter for the Giants, someone who works for the Giants, you gotta fact check yourself. Like, I don't understand how you fumbled the bag. I would have if I'm MLB, I'm firing John Heyman. I know he's a well-known reporter and he is good at what he does. But come on. That's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. How do you fumble the bag that bad, man? Come on. But Aaron Judge is back. Supposedly, he was offered $400 million by the San Diego Padres. But Yankees owner Hal Stillman called Judge and convinced him to stay and take actually $40 million less. That being said, by the way, kudos to Aaron Judge for bagging himself. He was offered 7 years, $213 million. It's a 7-year deal. Would have paid him just over $30 million a season. And he turned it down. And then in free agency, he gets 2 more years and an extra $146.5 million. Aaron Judge bet on himself. He trusted himself, and it worked. Kudos to him. Everyone said, it was a fair offer. And it was a fair offer at the time. But Aaron Judge was right to turn it down. And look what happened. Kudos to him. Always bet on yourself. Always have trust in yourself. Kudos to Aaron Judge. But John Heyman, good God. That's an all-time blunder. He's got to be the most hated man in San Francisco at this point. And probably will be for a long time. That's outrageous. That being said, last night the Giants did bring in another quality outfield. They signed Mitch Haniger to a 3-year deal worth $43.5 million. He can opt out after the second. Haniger had a lot of injuries last year. He's very injury prone, unhealthy. He is a really good player. Guy gave you 25, 30 home runs, 80 or 90 RBIs. Good outfielder. He is. I do think he's on the right side of 30. He had a strong tenure in Seattle overall. He now goes to the San Francisco Giants. They do pick him up. You had Josh Bell going to the Cleveland Guardians, 2 years, $33 million. Can opt out after the first year. This is actually something I really like. Bell's a really good player. In 2019, I think 37 home runs, had like 114 RBI. I'm not sure if he'll do that, but he is a guy whose power was down a lot last year, but that was mainly because, up until the trade deadline, he was playing in Washington, the Washington Nationals, and he was really the only power threat in the lineup outside of Juan Soto. And of course, they both get traded to the Padres, and he has signed with the Cleveland Guardians. Very good signing. Guardians, they definitely need some power in the lineup. Had a strong year last year. They won the American League Central. Took the Yankees to the brink in the division series. They got some really good pitching. They just need some more power bats. Although they were a decent offensive team last year, the only source of power they really had was Jose Ramirez. Was really the only source of power they really had. And now maybe Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor had a nice year last year. Now you got Josh Bell, a guy who can give you 30 homers and 90 RBIs. He can play first base. Isn't the greatest defender in the world, but he hits enough where you'll take his defense. That's a good signing for Cleveland. Texas Rangers continue to add to the rotation. They have signed Andrew Heaney, 2 years, $25 million, and then incentives could make it even more. Can opt out after the first year. Heaney's a guy with the Angels for a while. Last year with the Dodgers. Only made 16 appearances, including 14 starts, but he did pitch well. Had an ERA, I think, around 3.1 in those 16 games and 14 starts. He has never really been able to stay healthy. When he's been healthy for the most part, he's been a solid starter. He had a really good year when healthy last year for the Dodgers, so Texas rolling with dice there. Texas is definitely looking to improve their rotation. Obviously, you land DeGrom, who when healthy is probably the best pitcher in baseball. Obviously, I gave my take on that the other day. As a Mets fan, you land him. They trade for Jake Odorizzi, made a trade for the Atlanta Braves, trade for Jake Odorizzi, sent Kobe Howard to Atlanta. It was funny that Howard after he came up with the Braves. And then when Atlanta acquired reliever Chris Martin, I've been traded along a couple of years ago. That's who they trade. Now Howard goes back to Atlanta. They acquire Odorizzi in a trade, and now you sign Andrew Heaney. And they give and Martin Perez, who had a career last year, he accepted the qualifying offer, and you still have John Gray, who you signed last year to a 4-year deal. So all 5 starters the Giants have been acquired through free agency in the last 2 years. Of course, Perez was drafted by them, was a high pick, came up with them, didn't really work out. They bounced around, came back last year, and kind of exploded last year. So Texas this free agency has been built through free agency the last 2 years. Their rotation. So they bring him in. Cubs signed Cody Bellinger, a 1-year worth $17.5 million. Of course, he was MVP of the league 3 years ago, though has really struggled the last 3 years. Has hit just 203 over the last 3 seasons. Dodgers non-tendered him. He was looking for a 1-year deal. Was hoping they got $20 million. He gets $17.5 for the Cubs. I think it's a good deal for the Cubs. It's something, if it works out, that could be a huge value signing, and then that could be, and then now they decide, all right, do we sign him to a long-term extension, or do they trade him at the trade deadline and maybe cash in, maybe get a couple of nice young pieces back? If it doesn't work out, he can walk after the year, and at the very least, hopefully they can just look at something for him at the trade deadline. So probably a good move for both sides. Bellinger can try to build up his value. If he can bounce back and find this 2019 form, at least something close to it next year, possibly could be one of the top guys on the market. So we'll see where that goes. But Cody Bellinger is now a Chicago Cub. And his offensive side, he is a great center fielder. Can also play all 3 outfield positions and as well as first base. Phillies land Taijuan Walker, 4 years, $72 million. Was on my Mets the last 2 seasons, was decent. It's a guy who in the first half of the season was one of the league's best pitchers. He was an all-star in 2021 after he had a brilliant first half. Last year, had another great first half, but each of the last 2 years, he has struggled in the second half. So I'm not too upset about that, but he is a decent mid-rotation starter. So the Phillies add him to their rotation. The Phillies are going crazy. They signed Trey Turner, who's one of the league's best shortstop. You give him $300 million over 11 years, and now you give $72 million to Taijuan Walker. Obviously, I think Trey Turner gives him a very scary lineup, especially once they get Bryce Harper back, who just had Tommy John surgery, so he could be out probably into the summer. But even without him, they have a very good lineup. Once he gets back, that lineup is one of the league's best. And obviously, the main concern is pitching. They definitely need some starters, especially if they're losing Zach Eflin and Kyle Gibson for agency. And now, a top 3 of Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, and Taijuan Walker is very good. So the nice sign for the Phillies. Pirates, shops in the bargain bin as usual. They add a couple of relievers. They signed Yolan Garcia to a 1-year deal worth $3.25 million, plus a club option for a second. He had a decent year last year. And they signed Vince Velasquez to a 1-year deal worth $3.15 million. He wasn't great. He did like 4.8 in only 26 games with the White Sox, but they get a little bullpen depth. Phillies add Matt Strom to the bullpen, 2 years, $50 million. They continue to spend money. Hope it gets them some depth in the bullpen, which they definitely need. Cubs make another signing. They signed Jameson Taillon, 4 years, $68 million. Taillon was the guy who came up in Pittsburgh. Of course, he was like a budding 8th man. Tommy John surgery. 2021 he was up and down with the Yankees. Wasn't great last year. Had a better year. Had a solid year last year with the Yankees. Was very highly touted in free agency, and the Cubs gave him 4 years and $68 million. Like, the amount of money being thrown around is crazy. You got, obviously Judge got his bag, 360. You've already seen, Judge got 360. You got Trey Turner got 300. Jacob deGrom got $185 million. Yeah, Verlander got 40+ million a year from the Mets. You got Taijuan Walker, who's only got what 2 or 3 full seasons in his career, gets 72 million. Now Jameson Taillon, who's probably a third starter, gets 68 million. Wow. Kenley Jansen, 3-time All-Star closer. He's got, I believe, 2 rings. I believe he won the Dodgers in 2020, and then he won one of the Braves 2 years ago. Signed a 2-year, $33 million deal to go to the Boston Red Sox. Very good signing for the Red Sox. They need as much bullpen up as they can get. They were in dire need of a closer, and they get Jansen, who's a little older, but he had a real good year last year, 3.38 ERA as Atlanta's closer. He had a really strong year. And he's got a lot of playoff experience with the Dodgers and the Braves. He has a World Series ring. I forget if he was in Atlanta for 2021. I don't believe he was actually. So I take that statement back. But he does have one with the Dodgers. A lot of playoff experience. He's been around a long time. He's a very good closer. And Boston brings him in. Mets make another sign. They add Jose Quintana to the rotation. 2 years, $26 million. I think it's a solid signing. He's a guy who had shown the last couple of years. 2021, an ERA close to 7, but last year, big bounce back year between Pittsburgh and St. Louis. He has 2.93 ERA last year. He made 30+ starts. He's always been a real solid player. And just 2 years ago, he's had I don't know what was wrong with him. he built himself back up. Definitely a good guy for the Mets to bring in the back of their rotation. He gets 13 million a year, nothing crazy. I think it's a solid signing. He had a good year last year. He's a solid left hand, and they give the Mets a left-hander in their rotation, which they didn't really have last year. That's why they have Pearson, who of course only started because of injuries. They probably need one more starter because now with DeGrom and Walker gone, obviously you still have Scherzer. You brought back Carlos Carrasco on a team out. You exercise his option. You brought in Verlander. You bring in Quintana. Unless you want to get the 5th spot to Tyler Miguel or Steve Pearson, but I would recommend probably, because this team is in win-now mode, to go and sign somebody else. Chris Bassett's still available. See what happens. That's all the signs I have to report. Obviously, there's a million rumors going around. We got, the Mets may not be bringing back Brandon Nimmo, which is unfortunate for the Mets and us fans, but we'll see where that goes. And so many rumors with Anthony Swanson and Bogarts and all these guys, but we'll see what happens. On to hockey. Scores from last night. Devils shut out the Blackhawks 3-0. These Devils, 21-4-1. They are something else. Kings over the Senators, 5-2. You had Penguins over the Blue Jackets, 4-1. Red Wings over the Lightning, 4-2. Red Wings look good this year, 13-7-5. Blues over the Islanders, 7-4. Jets over the Panthers, 5-2. Winnipeg's playing some good hockey, 16-7-1 this year. Maple Leafs shut out the Stars, 4-0. Maple Leafs are slow start playing better. They're 16-5-6 this year. Ducks shut out they beat the Hurricanes 4-3 in overtime. And the Canadians over the Kraken 4-2. College basketball. Houston, number 1 team in the country. They beat North Florida, I've never even heard of, 76-42. No surprise there. I've never even heard of North Florida. They're 2-6, and Houston's 9-0. Number 17, Illinois beats number 2 Texas in an upset, 85-78. You had number 3 Virginia beat James Madison 55-50. Virginia remains undefeated. Number 5 Arkansas, they beat UNC Greensboro 65-58. Number 12 Baylor over Tarleton 80-57. And Wisconsin for a big upset. They beat number 13 Maryland 64-59. Number 15 Duke beats Iowa 74-62. And you had number 24 TCU beat Jackson State. Their basketball program is very bad. They're only 1-7. They win 78-51. On to professional basketball, NBA. Cavs over the Lakers, 116-102. Donovan Mitchell, 43 points. Big game for him. Pistons over the Heat, 116-96. Bogdanovich drops 31 points. Heat, something there. They look off. They did not have Jimmy Butler, their star player, but Pistons are maybe the worst team in the league. And they lost by 20. Something's wrong with the Heat. I don't know what it is. I was talking about it yesterday. Saying, I know Kyle Lowry's getting older, and they need some shooters, and maybe they're big. They got some injuries at the center position, but they need some help. Something's got to change it. They are struggling. And the Mavericks beat the Nuggets 116-115. Luka 22 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists with a triple-double. Dorian Finney-Smith late with a 3 with about 16 seconds left to put them ahead and then end up being the game winner. Connected Heat, something needs to change there. They're 11-14. This is a team that was the best team in the Eastern Conference last year. Was in the Eastern Conference Finals. Was basically one shot away from an NBA Finals. If Tyler Hero's healthy, they may have won that series. He missed a couple of games in that series. If Tyler Hero's healthy, they may have won that series. If Jimmy Butler makes that 3 that he missed at the end, by the way, that I do think that was the right shot, by the way. And people said it was a bad shot. I disagree. I think it was the right shot. He was having a great game, having a great series. They may have went to the finals if he made that shot. You know, they come back basically the same group. I mean, you do lose PJ Tucker, so most of the same group is here. There's just no reason they should not be at least a top 3 team in the East with at least a chance to go back to the conference finals. And they're barely even in the play-ins right now. Something's got to give with that team. First of all, they're struggling on the road. They are just 3-9 on the road. This is a veteran team, kind of similar to the Warriors struggling on the road. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Those are 2 veteran teams that have, after the Warriors have won 4 championships in the last decade. You got the Heat, who are one of the best teams in the league. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals last year and have a good shot to go. Look like going into the year they had a good shot to go to at least the Conference Finals this year. And they are really struggling right now. Something's got to give over there. Now let's do my game picks for football. Don't got any college games to report. But excuse me, my apologies. I stand corrected. There is Army-Navy game. It is on Saturday. That's always a fun game. This game, sometimes it's a blowout, sometimes it's not. I know both teams aren't that good this year. I think Navy's favored by 1. I'm gonna pick Army to win in a close game, but I'm hoping for a close game. It's always a very fun game, to watch. Army against Navy. It's always a very fun game. It's a game that's been played every year for God knows how long, so many years. Very, very cool tradition there. On to my game picks for NFL. Raiders against the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Raiders have won 3 in a row, gotten to 5-7, gotten them back in the wild card race. Still on the outside looking in, but keeping themselves alive. May or may not have to save Josh McDaniels' job. We'll see. I still don't think he's a good coach, but we'll see. Rams are 3-9. Baker Mayfield might be starting. They have claimed him off waivers. Carolina decided to waive Baker Mayfield. Of course, he was horrible earlier in the year, and he's been benched. The Rams claimed him, and they may start him over Bryce Perkins and John Wolford. I'm gonna go with the Raiders in this one. They're playing better. They're looking better. And the Rams, they got nothing over there. They're on basically their 4th quarterback. You got Stafford's probably out for the year. You got John Wolford, who obviously they don't trust, and he's banged up. You started Bryce Perkins last week. Now you bring in Baker Mayfield, who's one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league. Bring him in off the street to start. Cooper Kupp's on the reserve. You got your O-line's banged up. They got a lot of injuries. This now Allen Robinson's out for the year. So your best receiver right now is probably Van Jefferson, who's probably a 3rd receiver at best. They got nothing over there. I'll take the Raiders. Look, Jets-Bills, big game. Jets won the first one. You know what? I'm going to take the Jets in an upset. As you all know, I'm a Jets fan. Got my Jets, not sure if you can see, but I got the shirt. It's a heart. It says Mets on one side. The other side says Jets. I'm a big Jets fan. I want to take the Jets to sweep the Bills. I'll take them in an upset. They won. If they can win with Zach Wilson, against the Bills. They can definitely win with Mike White as the quarterback. Mike White's looking for a revenge game after he threw 4 picks against the Bills last year, which caused him to lose the starting role to Joe Flacco before Zach Wilson came back from injury. I'll take the Jets in a big upset there. Browns and Bengals. Deshaun Watson made his return last week, but he looked horrible. Bengals are hot. I'm taking the Bengals. Browns are not good. Their defense will not do it what they did last week against the Texans. Texans are the worst team in the league. Bengals have gotten to 8-4. They're tied. They're tied for first. I'm going with the Bengals. You got Texans, Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys. The Texans, I think, are tanking. I don't know if they win another game this whole year. Cowboys are looking good. You know, they're 9-3. They're 2 games out of first. It looks like they'll be going to the playoffs this year. I'm taking Dallas. Before I continue with my game picks, I want to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. I know he's been, he met with the Giants, the Bills, and then the Cowboys. He met with the Cowboys most recently. Met with them last Monday. I know he went to the Dallas Mavericks game with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. Apparently, all the Cowboys players are recruiting him. Odell says there's a good possibility he signs with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones has been talking about it. I'm hearing a lot of concerns with him coming up with the ACL. A lot of people think he might not be fully healthy until mid-January. So if he's not going to be available till possibly the second or third round of the playoffs, which with the Cowboys can't get out of the first round for their life, maybe it'd be worth signing him. So he may. It looks like right now he either signs with Dallas or he won't sign or he'll have to take the year off. So that's what we got. That's what we got on the OBJ front. Vikings, Lions. I'm going to take the Vikings. Lions are playing better. They are playing better. They've got the 5-7. They're making some strides defensively. They obviously got a lot of weapons on offense. But I'm going to take the Vikings. They're playing some great football. They're 10-2. They are rolling right now. I'll take the Vikings. Eagles, Giants, big NFC East matchup. Eagles 11-1. They got the best record in the league. Giants 7-4-1. They're in the playoffs for now. I'm taking the Eagles. Giants, I think, are a little fraudulent just because they've struggled against some good competition. They've kind of beat up on some bad competition. I'm not really sold on them. I'm going to take the Eagles in that one. Ravens, Steelers, big AFC North rivalry. Pittsburgh's starting to play better. Kenny Pickett's definitely looking better. Steelers have gotten themselves, they're not dead necessarily. They're certainly also looking in. Ravens 8-4. But obviously, they've blown a bunch of leads. Lamar Jackson not expected to play. Expected to miss 1 to 3 weeks with that knee injury. But I'm actually going to take the Ravens. Tyler Huntley last year I thought was serviceable in the 5 or 6 games that he started. He was able to get the game-winning rushing touchdown and lead a comeback against Denver last week, which isn't saying that much because Denver's horrible. But he's gotten a good amount of playing time these last 2 years because of Lamar's injuries. So I'll take the Ravens. I do not trust the Steelers. They are not very good. By the way, Lamar Jackson do not give him $250 million often. Do not give Lamar Jackson $250 million. He's got 1 playoff win. He has not had his best season. He's now second straight year he's gotten hurt. He missed the last 6 games of the year last year. He might miss 2 or 3 games now this year. Do not give him all the money. I would franchise tag him. I would tell him, all right, we're gonna hit you with the tag. If you want, let's say $35 million a year, maybe. I don't know if I even give him 40. I'll say around $35-36 million a year. Maybe I'll give it to you. But if you want, but if you're looking for 40, 45, 50 million a year, you can kick rocks or play on the franchise tag, dude. He's not worth the $250 that he wanted in the offseason. Jaguars and Titans. By the way, got some breaking news. Titans yesterday fired their general manager John Robinson. Interesting move. He's been there since 2016. This was his 7th season on the job. They've been to the playoffs 6 times. It looks like they're going to have yet another winning season and yet another playoff berth. They're in first place right now. They should win the division, no problem. The South is terrible. And the next team is probably the Colts or the Jaguars, and they're both horrible. Interesting because obviously he made the trade to trade A.J. Brown, maybe a top receiver in the game, and he's having a great year. He lights him up for 7 catches, 119, and 2 scores in his first game back. Obviously he was talking a lot of smack, and then he gets fired. A few days later, everyone was joking on social media that A.J. Brown got him fired. When he got fired, Mike Vrabel did not want him to be fired. Did not want him to be traded. I remember like when there was a video during the draft of when they traded AJ Brown to Eagles for the first round pick. My friend was very upset. He like stormed out of the room. He was very upset. So maybe there's been tension between Vrabel and Robinson since the off season, and then it's supposedly the ownership didn't love the direction of a team that Robinson put on the field was going, so he let him go. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Vrabel's already pissed at John Robinson for the trade, and then he sees him light him up, and he's like, I told you so. I told you you shouldn't have traded the dude. Traded for Treylon Burks. Wasn't doing anything in his rookie year really. Been hurt for a lot of it, to be honest. So very interesting. And we got you guys know Smooth. He's come on my show many times. He's going to be joining us any second now. We're on Talkin Sports to Jake. We're talking some NFL. Smooth, we'll see what Smooth wants to talk about. But yeah, John Robinson has been fired as the GM of the Tennessee Titans. But I am going to take the Titans to win that game. I am taking the Titans. Jaguars are not that good. Titans are a good team. Smooth, how we doing?
Good, sir. How are you? Happy Wednesday to you.
Happy Wednesday to you as well. How have you been?
I've been good, sir. I wanted to chime in because first of all, it's Wednesday. I always know it's Talking Sports with Jake time on a Wednesday.
That's right.
That's right off my alley. A couple things you were talking about the NFL. First of all, I don't know if you mentioned Baker Mayfield.
Yep, I talked about that. Yeah, he's looks like he might be starting for the Rams on Thursday.
I think that's a good move for both parties involved, and here's why. I think Baker Mayfield needs an organization that possibly could believe in him, and I don't think Carolina wasn't that organization. The Browns definitely weren't that organization.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like there was somebody had mentioned like Nick Foles. Like Nick Foles was getting ready to retire.
Yeah.
5 years ago. And Andy Reid called him up and said, "Hey, come to Kansas City and we'll get you back on the path or whatever the case may be." So, and you know how that story ended. He won a Super Bowl. So, could that happen to Baker? Maybe, maybe not. But at the same token, at least he has maybe an organization that truly believes in him. That maybe, hey, this could be the guy that could take over if Stafford's not 100%, or if Stafford's hurt beyond. Like Stafford's beat up really bad right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if people really understand that. Like he is beat up bad. Like concussion protocol, shoulder problems. Could you see Stafford retiring at the end of this year, man?
I'm not sure. They just gave him a huge deal. They just gave him a 4-year extension worth like $40 million a year this offseason. I don't think he will, but yeah, like he was battling shoulder and elbow problems last year. He barely even got to the Super Bowl. He had surgery in the offseason. He got a bit of a late start, to training camp. He didn't look right all season, and then he just had, like you said, shoulder problems. I think he had like a rib issue. Now with the concussion, now he's probably done for the year. I don't think he will, but I don't see why not. He's clearly looks like he's not the same guy anymore, and he's had so many injuries the last couple of years.
Well, the other thing too is, I mean, you look at the Los Angeles Rams as an organization. How many draft picks do they have? How about not very many?
Yeah, they haven't had a first round pick since Goff.
Right. So I mean, what? And the Lions got to be loving that deal because
Yeah.
the Rams keep losing that pick they got for the Rams for Goff turns into money. So the Lions will have 2 picks in the first round in this upcoming draft, which is I think it's nice to see the Lions, as much as I don't like them living in Detroit. They seem like they're starting to turn it around a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
I think the game not necessarily the game against Jacksonville last Sunday showed difference, but I think the game against Buffalo really kind of showed, okay, you know what? Maybe we can compete at a higher level. Not saying they could win games at a higher level because Buffalo's really good. They lost to the Eagles. All their losses have been against really good teams. I mean, if you really look at in the top 10 in the NFL, the Lions have lost to those top 10 teams. And most of those games have been competitive with the exception of New England. But, they were in it against Philly. They were in it against, a couple other teams. The Cowboys, they were kind of in I think you're seeing that now.
Yeah.
So I think the Lions, could they turn the corner and not be the same old Lions? Sure, but at the same token, it's kind of like, you know, and we've done this song and dance here in Detroit for many years, where you think they start turning the corner, and then they make that one draft pick, and you're like, oh God, here we go. Do we really need another wide receiver? So it's just like, oh boy. But I think going into this week, you had mentioned you were talking about a couple of games and interest, and I think one game of real importance to both teams, that Giants game against the Eagles. The Giants have to win.
Yes.
They're slipping and sliding, farther and farther in the hole if they keep losing. Now I know right now, if I look at the playoff picture right now, they're sixth, right? But there's two teams right behind them. Well, Seattle 7, the Commanders, who I'm on board right now with the Commanders. I really am. I think putting Taylor Henneke in for Carson Wentz was genius, because that guy's a guy that can rally the troops around. People like him. He's a guy that, and it's the same thing with the Jets. Now, I know the Jets lost, last Sunday, but White's a guy that the team can get around. Like Zach Wilson literally threw
He's horrible.
the Jets. He threw the Jets defense under the bus.
He did.
And kudos to Robert Salah. I know it's like, dude,
great coach.
You don't do that. You're on the bench. You're the third string guy. You're not even like dressing up.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So I think that game is really important. I also think the Buccaneers game against the 49ers is just as important for really two reasons. First, Tom Brady can't pull that magic every game.
No.
I'm sorry. I can't. And I'm a Bucs fan, and I just cringed when I watched that game. And the 49ers, they're on their third quarterback.
Yeah.
And they truly believe in this. Get the guy, like Purdy's the guy for them for the rest of the year. Obviously, could they have made a run at Baker Mayfield? But the Niners came out. No, we're good with what we have, which is cool. I think is kudos to them, because they have playmakers. They got McCaffrey. They've got Deebo Samuel. They got Ayton. They've got guys. All they're going to tell Purdy to do is say, hey, listen, we need you to manage the game. Make smart throws, make smart plays. I don't know if you've gone over the 4 o'clock games, but me as a Bucs fan, I'm concerned. B, we're in one of the worst divisions in football.
Yeah.
In the NFC South by far, and that's the other thing, dude. The NFL right now, to me personally, as a product, I think it sucks.
It's not the greatest. A lot of bad teams.
No, there's a lot of bad teams and a lot of bad divisions. I mean, Tampa could go 9-8, 8-9, and probably win the division in the South.
And they probably will.
Right. And Tennessee, they'll go like what, 10-7.
Yeah.
Maybe 9-8, win the South. There's nobody there. And there's other divisions, we won't go over them. But at the same token, there's some really bad teams, in this league. And it's like, gosh darn, if you're a fan of a team, I mean, how would you like to be a Houston Texans?
Oof, good Lord, that team is bad.
Right. They are awful, and you had a chance to put it to Deshaun, and you couldn't get it done. And the Browns couldn't even score an offensive touchdown. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns. And
Watson looked awful. He looked awful.
For a touchdown. Yeah, it was an awful game in general. So I think you had also mentioned Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving him the money, and I totally agree with you 100%. Do you see a pattern? I don't know if people see this. This is probably the second or third year in a row in the last part of the season has been hurt.
Yeah.
If I'm the Ravens, obviously you're going to franchise him because you really don't have any direction, in quarterback. But I'm definitely not giving him north of $40 million a year. Not happening. Because he's won, like you said, one playoff game. To me personally, he's a really good regular season quarterback. But when the playoffs roll around, he's non-existent.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, he doesn't really have a running game, and he doesn't have wide receivers to throw to. There's other teams and other quarterbacks on other teams. They necessarily don't have wide receivers on their team, and they're doing a little better.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ironic that he's hurt again, for the second time. Same time last year he got hurt. And the Baltimore Ravens fell out of the division. They fell out of the playoffs. And I know they're sitting at 8-4, But you know what? Guess who's coming behind them? The Bengals.
Yeah.
And the only reason the Bengals are behind them right now is because they started off really piss poor in the beginning of the season. They're 1-3 in the division right now.
Yeah.
So they've played 4 divisional games and they've got 2 more to go. The Ravens still have 4 division games left to play.
Yeah.
They got to play. They got to play the Steelers and the Browns, Steelers and the Bengals. So they got to for their next 5 games are against divisional opponents. So I mean, you got to win those games to win the division and get in. If you don't, you're out. And I think Baltimore. I think I agree with you on the game against the Browns on Sunday. But after that, I could see them losing a bunch of games if they don't get Lamar Jackson back.
Yeah.
And I just like I said, I'm perplexed that it's hard. Man, dude, seriously, it's hard to watch the NFL. I mean, personally, I'm a college guy, but I love. I mean, the NFL is exciting to watch some of the, but the plays, like the teams are so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, oh Pete, what are you watching? And I look at the schedule right now, and I see, the Jets play Buffalo. Buffalo's gonna win, right? That's in New York.
We'll say yeah.
The Bengals are beating the Browns. Okay, you know, and then you have maybe one other good game, 2 maybe. Dolphins, Chargers, Buccaneers, 49ers, and that's it. And Eagles, Giants. That's all you got out of 5 games out of what? How many? 12, 13? And that Thursday night game's nothing to really crow about either. You got the Rams and the Raiders. Ugh. So it's just I don't know, man. I'm just perplexed. But um, I'm just amazed that the NFL. First of all, I don't know how you feel about this, and I don't know if you talked about it, but I don't think Deshaun Watson should be playing in the NFL.
Absolutely
I
not.
really don't. I don't see why. You're showing again. The NFL is showing its true colors. It's all about the money, and it's kind of ironic that the first game he comes back is
as against the Texans.
Against the Texans, right? And people are like, well, it's all a conspiracy thing that 25 women were lined up against him for this, that, and the other thing. Dude, 25 of 26 women don't know the person next to them. You can't take 26 women, put them in a room, and collaborate the same story. It's not happening. These people don't know each other.
No.
I mean, it's a bad look for the NFL. It really is. And I hate to say it, and I tell my son this all the time. I said, unfortunately, buddy, there's some great people in the world, but there's some really bad people in the world. Do I believe in second chances? Absolutely. But at the same token, man, you're giving that dude a guaranteed contract.
$230 million guaranteed.
Right. He doesn't have to play a lick anymore.
No.
He could walk away tomorrow.
Like,
that's all my money.
If there could be a breaking news come out right now that Deshaun Watson is retiring, and they're gonna have to pay him.
They're gonna have to pay him. And the thing is, the Browns gave up so much for this guy.
Yep.
I understand is he a top 10 quarterback in the league?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When he's on point, his head screwed on straight, yes.
He's on point? Okay. I still hold judgment on top 10. I think he's kind of middle of the pack, 10 to 15, and people are like, "You're nuts," and I'm like, "No, I maybe I'm not seeing something," but at the same token, he looked really bad against Houston.
He was god awful.
But he hasn't played in 2 years, so I give him some credit. But me personally, I think I just don't see why owners do what they do.
He should have at least gotten the full year. Getting 11 games, that's a joke.
Yeah, and it's like we said, it's ironic that he first game of the season he's playing against the Texans in Houston. Oh, okay. So it's just crazy. So I just wanted to chime in a little bit. I don't know if you've gone over any college football stuff. If you want to hit that, we can hit that too.
Yeah, I talked about Army and Navy are playing. Once the college football playoff came out, I talked about that. Okay. Smooth. What's your thoughts on the 14th? Think they got it right?
Absolutely.
I agree.
I think I had to literally turn off the TV when Nick Saban came on at halftime.
Oh God, that was stupid.
I'm like, oh geez, really? We have to go through this? It was just unbelievable. And that was a propaganda thing for him to Hey, we should get Alabama in there, and we should get Alabama. Why? Because we're in the best conference, and we played 5 top 25 teams and beat them all. Well, you know what? You lost 2 games to top 10 teams, or one top 10 team and one in the middle. But you gave up 50 points in one game
Yeah.
against Tennessee, and you gave up close to 30 or 40 against LSU. No way. And people are like, well, they'd be a touchdown favorite against TCU. Well, maybe they would. But at the same token, TCU had to play A, an extra game.
Yeah.
B, they were 12-0 going in. C, they lost in overtime.
Yeah.
And Sonny Dykes and TCU, they were playing with house money. They knew if they lost that game, they were in.
Yeah.
Because they went for it on 4th down to score, and they came up short. And they're like, okay, if we kick a field goal, so what? I mean, it could be tied again, whatever the case may be. And I think personally, I think the thing is, who got screwed the most is Georgia, because they're playing Ohio State.
Yeah.
Because Ohio State can beat Georgia.
They can. I think Georgia wins that game, but Ohio State can definitely beat them.
Right. But I don't think people wanted to see another Michigan-Ohio State game in the.
I doubted. Michigan killed them. They killed them.
Right, and I didn't want. And I'm a Michigan guy, a BYU guy. I didn't want to see that. Because it's just, to me, I would rather see them play a TCU to start, because Michigan is the second best team in
absolutely,
by far. Georgia's by far the best. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, the 3 and 4 teams, TCU's, TCU's a good team. And Ohio State had one loss. They lost to Michigan. One loss. So you got it right. I think my problem with college, they're going to go to 12 teams in 2 years.
Yes.
Ironically, the same time USC and UCLA go to the Big Ten, Oklahoma and Texas go to the SEC.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, okay. And then, by the way, EA Sports College Football comes out that same time. Yeah, I'm so happy. Me personally, I think a 12-team playoff, to me, it seems like too many teams. I really do. I like, if you looked at the top 12 right now, I think Tulane was in there. Like, really, do you want to put Tulane?
I think Tulane might have been just outside, but they might have been in.
Right. Do you really want to put Tulane in the college football playoff? They go in there and they play like Ohio State or a Michigan.
Jesus Christ.
They're getting smoked.
Yeah.
At least 2 touchdowns, maybe 3. But at the same token, I think here's what needs to happen. When you do the 12-team playoff in 2 years, you need your conference champions to be your top 4.
Yes.
Because they won their conference championship. Barring record, whatever the case may be. So, like right now, you'd have K-State in there. Utah. And let's say you're going to have the 4 best conference champion winners. So you would have Michigan, Georgia, K-State, maybe Utah, or maybe a Clemson, right?
Yeah.
So you'd have your 4. And then from 5 to 12, you just take, obviously you would maybe put one more divisional conference champion in that 5, maybe that number, the 5 hole, and you take the 6 best teams from 6 to 12.
Yeah.
No matter what conference they're in. I think that would make sense, but I don't see it that way. I think they're just going to go, okay, 12 best teams in, no matter if you win your conference or not.
Yeah.
So I like that. It's all about money. And then on top of
yes, absolutely.
Jake, honestly, do we really need to have 41 bowl games?
I literally, Smooth, yesterday I went through all the bowl games. I literally said, way too many. First of all, the names of them are stupid. There's way too many. They got to cut that down.
Right. I mean, first, I live in Detroit, man, so we have the Quick Lane Bowl. Do you really think anyone is going to go drive to see New Mexico State in Bowling Green?
No.
And better yet, if I'm a fan of New Mexico State, first of all, if you're a college football fan of New Mexico State, you have problems to begin with. Second of all, you as a fan, do you really want to go to Detroit the day after Christmas and freeze your butt off?
I don't want to go to Detroit any day.
I don't want to go to Detroit, period. So, I mean, it's kind of like, wow, really? And there's a lot of bowl games that have like a 6-6 matchup.
Exactly, like these teams are 6-6 and getting in.
Right, and it's just, to me, it doesn't make the bowl games have lost their luster. Like,
they have.
It's not like when I was growing up as a kid, Jake. I mean, I think I could count on two, maybe my hands and toes, there were like 20 bowl games. But, you had the best ones on New Year's Eve day and New Year's Day. So you had like New Year's Day, you would have, let's see, I'm trying to think here off the rip. You would have the Cotton Bowl in the morning, Rose Bowl, Sugar Fiesta. So you would have to flip stations, right? So you'd have to go back and forth. Like NBC had the Fiesta Bowl, the Sugar Bowl was on ABC along with the Rose, um, and the Cotton Bowl was on CBS. So, and then the night before you'd have like the Peach, like the other bowl games, like the Peach Bowl, a couple other ones. But those were the games you watched. Like you spent all day January 1st watching, college football.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, I you know. I just don't get it, man. I really don't. And God bless you if you're, and then I know you're up near the Boston area, correct? Are you up near Boston?
I'm close to New England, yeah.
Okay. So they have a bowl game at Fenway Park, do they not?
They do.
Okay. Are you going?
No.
Okay. Is anybody going?
Not that I know of.
Right. Exactly. That's my point, man. So, I mean, it's funny because my son and I went to the MAC championship game Saturday. It was fun. We went. Toledo played Ohio University. It was a good game. It was 17-7. Dude, it was announced as 15,000 fans, which is okay, a good number. They're all sitting on like the sidelines of their teams, right? So you had all the Toledo faithful on one side, all Ohio University on the other side, and then in the end zones where we were sitting, there was nobody. Dude, I got my tickets on StubHub for like $2 each.
Wow.
Yeah, seriously. So with fees and everything, it cost me like $7.
Damn, that's amazing.
It cost me more to park the car and get food than it is to actually go to the game. So
that's how it works.
Ironic. It's funny. Yeah. So, but it was fun. We had a good time. So I'm looking at StubHub right now, and they're sitting at like $29 for general admission to the end zone. I'm like, no way. On God's green earth, am I paying $30 to go see Bowling Green play New State?
Wow.
I guarantee you, man. By the time before Christmas rolls around, they'll go down to like $5. No one's going. Nobody. That's the thing is most of these people don't even go to the bowl games. It's just like a waste of time. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
So dumb.
And the players, a lot of players don't even play in them anymore because they're afraid they're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
They bow out. They're like, I'm done. I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going
if they're not in the college football playoff, they're like, and if they're going to be a first round pick, they're like, this game is meaningless. I'm not going to get myself hurt.
Right. And they saw what happened last year with Matt Corral.
Yeah.
The guy who quarterback from Ole Miss, he tore his ACL in the game.
Probably he probably would have been a second or third round. He ended up going like the 5th round.
Right. But it's just people see that and they're like, do I really want to jeopardize my NFL career to play in a meaningless bowl game? And that's why I like college football because a lot of the kids play not necessarily for the name on the back of the jersey, it's for the front.
Yeah.
And that to me that's cool. So, I'm perplexed. Again with college, way too many teams, way too many bowl games. I know it's all about money. But it's just.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's crazy. So, I wanted to talk to you real quick about something real quick too. What do you think of, like, first of all, Aaron? I don't know if you spoke about Aaron Judge and him getting 9 years, $360 million.
I did, yeah.
I think that is amazing. First of all, $40 million a year for a guy that blows my mind to this day. It's just like, so he's gonna finish his career a Yankee, obviously.
Yep.
And I think that's what they wanted to do at the end of the day. I like baseball. I really do. I love what the Phillies are doing, man.
They're going all out, the Phillies.
Mm-hmm. I love what they're doing. They bring in Trey Turner. They signed they got DeGrom, right?
No, DeGrom went to Texas. They got Talon Walker.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I love what they're doing there. And they still got Bryce Harper, who he's having Tommy John surgery, but he'll be back next year. He's going to play DH, which is cool. I mean, he doesn't have to worry about throwing. You got guys that, on the outfield that will take over a spot. I think personally that the Phillies look really good on paper to maybe get back to the National League Championship Series,
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. Do the Yankees look really good on paper to win the World Series? Absolutely. Do the Astros? Yeah, absolutely they do.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Mets with Verlander now and Scherzer? Here's the other thing. I don't know if you know this, but Verlander and Scherzer
They
combined.
were in Detroit together, and they were fantastic.
Right. Yep. They're making $86 million this coming year.
Jesus
86
Christ.
million between the two of them. So Verlander's getting like 40 something,
Yep.
and Scherzer's getting 40 something. So that's if you take three teams' payrolls. It was the A's. Oh God, who else was it? I can't remember, but it was like three teams
Yeah.
combined have less payroll than those two players combined. I couldn't believe when they said it. The A's were one. I think the Reds were another,
Oof,
and
the
then there was a
Reds.
third team they mentioned. So like those three teams combined have a less payroll than those two players combined.
Wow.
I'm like, that is insane. But that's baseball. But and everyone's like, well, they don't have a salary cap. Well, no, they do. They have a luxury tax.
It's just some teams care and some teams don't about it.
Right. But this other thing too is when they go over the luxury tax, that money that's over the luxury tax goes to those other remaining teams.
Yeah,
So like
that's
the
right.
Yankees could spend. If they don't win a World Series, that's a lost season for them in all honesty because they're paying so much money to these guys to play and win. Like Judge had a great year. Stanton's been pretty good for them. But the Yankees need pitching. Like Garrett Cole isn't the same Garrett Cole when he was with Pittsburgh or the Astros. And then the other guys, I don't even know the other pitchers on that team for the Yankees right now.
Yeah, it's not a Colts. They lose Tyone. You got Severino, but he can't stay healthy. Cortez. Not much besides that. I think I might have lost Smooth there for a minute. We're on.
I had a
Oh,
phone call.
there he
My
is.
bad, dude. Sorry.
You're good. But yeah, the Yankees probably still needed at least one or two more starters. They outside of Cole, you got with Tyone now in Chicago. You got Nestor Cortez, Severino if he's healthy. That's outside of that, they definitely need another arm for sure. Bobby got some breaking news of Von Miller just had surgery, so he is officially out for the season. That's a big loss for the Bills defense that has so many guys out.
Who's that?
Von Miller.
Oh, Von Miller. Oh, wow. Wow. That's a big hit for them defensively.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, hopefully they can have a guy, step up for him. Obviously, that's a big shoe to fill for him.
Yes.
But at the same token, hopefully Von Miller can get healthy. He could play another year somewhere, or if he's still with the Bills, who knows? But yeah, that's tough. Tough for him, man. He was playing pretty well for them too.
Yes, he was. He was gonna be a Pro Bowler right now. That's a big loss for the Bills.
So by the way, I like your show, sir.
Thank you.
I like the way you're doing it on YouTube with your fancy microphone and studio and all that crazy stuff. That's some good stuff, man. That's top notch.
Thank you.
I appreciate you having me on your show.
Of course, I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on. You're always welcome, Smooth. You're always welcome.
I appreciate that. So, real quick before I jet, sir. What do you think of the direction of the WWE right now? And do you watch AEW or no?
I try. I couldn't do it. I'm not a fan of AEW, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So what is your take on the WWE? First of all, let me ask you, what did you think of the Survivor Series?
I thought Survivor Series was a very good pay-per-view. I enjoyed them going back to the War Games format. I thought it was very successful, to be honest.
I like the fact that they put the War Games match in there because the Survivor Series itself, the pay-per-view without it would have sucked.
Oh, yeah.
Because they, back in the day when I was growing up, first of all, that was the Thanksgiving Eve tradition. Like the night before Thanksgiving, I had to beg my parents to like watch it on pay-per-view for like $50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll pay the $50. Let me watch it. It was cool because you had like, teams, you had team names, you had the Hulkamania. Like you watch the old school intros for like the Survivor Series on
Yeah.
like YouTube. It's like Vince McMahon doing the intro, and it's awesome. But and it lost its luster because you had like the whole brand supremacy thing, Raw versus SmackDown, blah blah blah. So I like the way they went back to it.
Yeah.
I think going forward, hey, here's the thing. Now the Rumble's coming up in January. That's their next pay-per-view.
Yep.
They've got nothing until then, right? So here's the direction I think they should go. There's like two directions they could go in. One, have The Rock win the Rumble, right? Or here's the big one, Sami Zayn win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's something I've heard. I've heard Sami Zayn. Honestly, I'm not a fan of The Rock winning the Rumble for one reason. I just think The Rock versus Roman Reigns is such a big match. It kind of writes itself. You don't need The Rock to win the Rumble. I'm not against it, but you could easily, kind of similar to when I did Cena versus Rock. Yeah, like the build up for the full year. A little different because Cena was, because obviously, with because like the year prior, The Rock came in, interfered in Cena's WrestleMania match and helped The Miz win. Then from there, and The Rock I think he just wants to fight Roman Reigns, and he's obviously hasn't wrestled really in years. He just wanted to fight him, so they were like, why not? It's a blockbuster event.
Right.
So I just don't think it's necessary. But Sami Zayn, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think. The funny thing is with Sami Zayn, if he wins the Rumble, he could challenge Roman Reigns for the title, and then he could actually, and I hate to say it, he could actually win.
He could.
Because Sami Zayn is just so hot right now. Like this dude's like can do no wrong.
He's so funny.
The best thing that the WWE did with him was put him in the bloodline. Kind of like being a part of the family and stuff, and him bickering with Jey Uso and Jimmy, and it was that's classic. But I would love to see Sami Zayn win the Rumble, and then like obviously the night after they always announce on Raw like, who are you going to challenge for the title? Is it the Raw champion or the SmackDown champion? Well, no, it's
right now Roman has them both.
Right, so it's going to be Roman. So that would be awesome to see. I think it would be a lot of fun to see that match, and I would love to see Sami Zayn just win at WrestleMania because he's just so hot right now.
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing with the U.S. title, like making it like a really good title, and I think that's the direction of Triple H. Not necessarily, obviously Vince is gone now, but I like the fact that they're making the U.S. title a more prestigious title.
Yeah.
I like how they're making the Intercontinental Championship a prestigious title.
Yes, then that's a great championship. And so many great wrestlers have won that title.
Oh yeah, by the way, happy heavenly birthday to one Randy Macho Man Savage. Today would have been his birthday.
Oh my God, he was great.
Dude, that guy, he did some of the best promo work ever.
Yes, he did.
When Mean Gene would do an interview with him.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Oh, dude, and then when he did a promo, and you should go find it today on Facebook or YouTube. He does the cream of the crop kind of deal, and he actually has a little thing of creamer in his hand. It's just electric, dude, when he does it. And he's like, cream of the crop rises to the top, and he pulls it out. And Gene Okerlund looks at him, and he goes, what is that? He's like, that's actual creamer, brother. And it's classic. You got to look it up. It's good stuff. But I like the way the WWE is going in. The Intercontinental belt's in good hands. The U.S. title's good. Obviously, Roman's doing really well. I think there's not really any formidable tag teams to challenge the Usos. They have to
not really, no.
Right. And then I love I don't know if you watched NXT last night, but the New Day came out.
That's right. I saw that.
Yeah. Yep. Obviously I don't think the New Day is going to win. Do you think they're going to win?
It wouldn't make any sense for them to win the NXT tag titles. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, I could see Pretty Deadly winning by disqualification or something weird.
Yeah.
Obviously not losing. They'll win, but they'll win by cheating.
Yeah.
Or disqualification or something weird. I mean, you're not going to tarnish the legacy of the New Day by having them lose clean to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So I don't know what tag team you could put against the Usos to win. I mean, there's really not one. Like the New Day, they've gone round and round with those guys. How many times do you want to see the New Day fight the Usos?
I mean, those are two of the greatest tag teams of all time, but they fought so many times.
Right.
It's, it would be nice to see somebody else. The problem is, like you said, I don't know if there's another team that could beat them.
There's not. The only ones that I could actually see would be like the Brawling Brutes. So you'd have like those two guys, have Sheamus fight with like Butch or something. They could beat them. But there's really no. And then the women's titles. I love Bianca Belair, but there's not really a quote unquote person that's going to beat her right now. Like Becky Lynch, I don't think Becky Lynch has had numerous times to beat her. She won't beat her. Bayley won't beat her. Could Alexa Bliss beat her? Maybe. But I would love to see Alexa Bliss go back to the Bray Wyatt character kind of deal.
Now that Bray's back, I thought when she was with Bray Wyatt, I thought it worked. I thought I didn't like it once Bray left. It was kind of just stupid, and then of course she had her injury. Then she came back, and she kind of came back as she's back to being the goddess, but yeah, now that Bray's back, I mean, I'm interested to see where they go with Bray Wyatt. It's been a bit of a slow burn, but I'm interested to see what they do with him. But yeah, if they put those two back together, that would be interesting.
Yeah, and then if you look at the SmackDown Women's Champions Ronda Rousey, and there's not a single person on that roster that's going to beat Ronda.
No, by the way, that match against Shotzi was horrible. Shotzi's not that good.
No, she's awful. There's some wrestlers that like Braun Strowman. I like him, but he's just what is he really? He's just a big dude.
He's a good wrestler. One guy who I can't stand, Omos. He is just tall.
Yeah. There's no real there's a lot of guys right now on the roster that have like no direction, and it's a shame because there could be some that could get some type of direction, but it's just not there.
Yeah.
So, but that's the hopefully you could make like Charlotte Flair comes back, which would be great.
I think Bianca Belair is gonna fight Charlotte.
Yeah. And they have the women's part of the Rumble too. I mean, who would you have winning the women's part of the Rumble right now?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think Charlotte Flair would if she gets in the Rumble.
Yeah, if she's there, if she's not injured anymore, I think she wins it. But if she's not there, I don't know who you have win it. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and then on top of it, is that a credible opponent for any world champion? Like even, and I hate to say it, even like do you have anybody on the roster that could beat Mandy Rose in NXT right now? No.
I don't think so, no.
Because she's really good too, and she's resurrected her career, coming from like nobody to somebody.
Yeah, she's kind of doing what Drew McIntyre did.
Yeah, and she's doing great in NXT. I don't see her ever like losing the title, but she'll lose it eventually to somebody. But to who? That's the thing is there's like some really good champions that like you can't name. Like I don't really think anybody can beat Roman Reigns right now. I really don't. I don't think.
I couldn't. Drew McIntyre might be able to.
Yeah, that's a key. But the thing is, it's going to be 5-on-1 because
of course.
Solo's out there and Sami Zayn's out there, so no one's beating him right now, unless a guy like The Rock comes in and just destroys everybody, and it's just him and Reigns for the title, and it's just kind of like okay.
Unless maybe like Sami Zayn just decides to like go off on his own and then he finds a way because he knows their weaknesses or something like that. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think if Sami Zayn wins the Rumble, you sure as can bet your bottom dollar he's fighting Roman Reigns for the title.
Absolutely.
Because that's gonna be just gonna be awesome. And people are like, well, why would that happen? It's WrestleMania. Well, Sami Zayn's your best wrestler right now. He's the guy.
He's one of the best guys they have right now.
Right. It's kind of like when Kofi Kingston 3-4 years ago, he was, on his own doing his thing, and he was on fire, man. He beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and did his thing, and then with Big E Langston, same type deal. He didn't win at WrestleMania, obviously, but he cashed in Money in the Bank and beat Lashley. But I just there's some really good things going on with the WWE, but there's also some things you just kind of go, okay. I see you maybe a little bit, but it's kind of like, so hopefully they can kind of build some direction towards WrestleMania coming up. And then one free agent that you should look out for is one Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
I think he goes. I think he's going to WWE in 2024.
Absolutely, that's a gimme. I mean, they're gonna throw a ton of money at that
Yes.
dude. He comes out, and I know you don't like AEW, and there's some. They were actually, to me, they were really good at one point.
They were.
They started bringing guys in, like CM Punk.
Oh God.
And some other guys that just it doesn't make sense. Like, what was your culture initially when you started? You started with a bunch of guys that weren't really household. Like, you brought in Jericho, great all around guy, Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
You brought in, John Moxley, great guy, hard worker guy. You brought in a bunch of guys that were not necessarily very good. I mean, they were good on the independent scene, like Omega with New Japan, the Young Bucks, again. And the best tag team right now. Now, they put out a poll, and I don't know if you've seen it, like the best tag team of the year was the Usos.
Yeah.
I totally disagree. I think it's FTR.
Yeah, I know. There was some beef on Twitter. The Usos are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They are a great tag team. I don't know too much about these AEW guys, but the Young Bucks are really, really good. FTR is also really, really good. I probably lean one of those guys, but the Usos are also an amazing tag team.
Yeah, FTR has four belts with 4 different companies right
Wow.
now. They've got the New Japan titles. They got AAA. They got Ring of Honor. They don't have the AEW ones. By the way, the Acclaim has those, and they're awesome too. That's another story. But for my money, it's FTR because they're so good, and they are old school wrestling. They remind me of the Four Horsemen when it was Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. And I don't know if you watch go back and watch the old the old WCW days, or when they were even the WWE, when they were the Brainbusters. They model themselves after that. That's old school tag team wrestling.
Yep.
Where they're just so good. I mean, it's just and every match they are in, and they're fighting the Acclaim tonight, as a matter of fact, for the AEW belt.
Those two are so funny.
Yeah. Oh, I love those guys. They're hilarious.
Listen.
And I love when they do the scissor me thing. That's hilarious, man.
That's.
And people are like, "What is that all about?" I'm like, if you really don't know, then you got problems.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what Billy Gunn is doing there.
He's just a mentor, just a guy that they could bring in.
I mean, for him to look like that at 58, kudos to him. That's amazing. But I don't know what he just looks. He looks like a guy that just woke up. He looks like he sleeps back. He wakes up backstage. He's and he sees the Acclaim in the room. He's like, oh, I'll join these guys. I'll do this stupid little Scissor Me Daddy thing, which I don't get at all.
It's awesome, man. And William Regal was part of AEW. He's gone now.
Yeah, he just left. I don't know. Yeah, I know something happened there.
His contract is up, so he's probably gonna go back to WWE.
If WWE wants him back, I don't know why they wouldn't want him back. He's done a lot for the company.
Triple H will bring back, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Because Regal's another guy in the room that can kind of help the young guys out. And
yes, absolutely.
Triple H surround himself. There's a lot of old school wrestlers. Shawn Michaels, another guy.
Oh, we got Cap No Cap up in here. He's gonna. I'm gonna bring him on. To the listeners, I'm not sure. I think Cap's been on here before.
Oh my. That is, you know who he is, right? Cap's the CBA cold-blooded assassin, right?
He is.
Absolutely. Guy's smoother and smooth, and he puts shame to a lot of these yahoos on Twitter.
I'm like, oh,
don't know what they're talking about, man. I'm telling you. What up, Cap?
What's good? I hear y'all talking wrestling.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
See, I got his gander up, man, for a minute.
Most likely. Here, y'all was talking about William Regal going back to WWE.
Yep.
I believe that's going to happen very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The storyline with him and Maxwell is officially over.
Right.
I love the ending, in my opinion. I love how they ended that off.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely was a swerve.
Yes.
I was not expecting that to happen. Mm-hmm. But I did know that was going to be the ending of their match. I had a feeling that William Regal would turn on Moxley, help the Devil get the title. I just wasn't expecting him to turn on him. That was crazy. But William Regal being in WWE would be a very good thing for them because they need somebody to really like hold down the fort in NXT. They need somebody to be like an authority figure, I feel like.
Right. Because Shawn Michaels is doing a lot of the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He needs to be kind of like, as I was telling Jake, like the veteran in the room, like the old school dude. He needs to be that guy. And
exactly.
And Triple H has surrounded himself with guys like that in the past and will continue to do so. I mean, he'll have like Sean Waltman, X-Pac is in there now. The Road Dogg is in there. If Billy Gunn was in there, he'd probably be there too. But he's always surrounded himself with people, first of all, that he likes. Second of all, that kind of have the same mindset and the same like wrestling brain that he has.
Exactly.
And you are absolutely right. I love the fact how they did the whole swerve upon swerve like a week later. You would expect Maxwell Friedman to show up 2 days after he wins the title, but he's not there. So now they got to hold off for a week and then boom, they do that. That's genius there.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I feel like every person that runs a brand usually gonna have their guys that they can trust in there, but I just hope that they're not yes men like a Pat Patterson, like a Bruce Pritchard. I want them to really have their own type of look upon wrestling. I don't want it to just be one man vision. I want it to be a group vision because it's better off. It comes like in the Attitude Era. The reason why the Attitude Era was so great, it wasn't just Vince McMahon. It was Vince McMahon, Vince Russo, and Jim Cornette throwing in ideas, making sure that the product was the best that it possibly could be. It wasn't just one guy.
Yeah, you got that would definitely work. Obviously, William Regal has done stuff with NXT in the past. Obviously, with Triple H running WWE, he can't run NXT anymore, so he's got Shawn Michaels basically is running NXT. Like you guys said, he's doing more behind the scenes stuff, and I think if they can bring in Regal and have him like do like and really run NXT, and they have Michaels behind the scenes, and you got Road Dogg, you got all of Triple H's other friends helping out. I think NXT could really become a really good show.
No doubt. I feel like what they've been doing the last couple of weeks has been fantastic. I'm looking forward to the event this week. You got Ring of Honor at 4 o'clock, and then you got NXT at 8. So nothing's gonna overlap on anything else. So that's perfect for me. I'll be watching wrestling all day on Saturday.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're on Talking to Jake. We're talking about pretty much everything. Now we're talking some wrestling. Right now, William Regal appears to be coming back. I hope.
Did y'all see Full Gear by any chance?
See what?
Did y'all see AEW Full Gear by any chance?
I did not.
I did.
Hell of an event. I was actually there live.
Oh, nice.
MJF's mom. Yeah, I got to meet MJF's mom. Really nice lady. Let it be known that she's always been an asshole.
Oh no. Yeah, I watched it too. I thought it was really good, and I love some of the direction of eight. Now they don't have CM Punk in there anymore, and he probably won't be back. And then you have you got. I like what they're doing with the everyone's like, oh, Omega's coming back with the Young Bucks. They should win the trios title. Oh, no. You're going to have to earn it in a best of 7 to get it back. So that thing's going, it's going 7. It'll go 7 matches for sure.
Absolutely. I've been enjoying that since they started it.
And I think that, like their tag team wrestling right now, I hate to say it, Jake, is better than the WWE's because there's so many good teams right now.
The tag team wrestling in WWE, outside of the Usos, there isn't much. And the Usos and the Brawling Brutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so they're building it. Don't get me wrong. They've been building it really well. The same way they have the House of Black coming out and whooping everybody. Same way they've been doing the Viking Raiders, kind of waiting for them to come back. Because they're dominant. But yeah, I like what WWE's been trying to do with the tag team division, trying to build it up. Make it seem important. It's going to be very hard because outside the Usos, the New Day, the Brawling Brutes, nobody really cares about anybody else. To be totally honest with you. I mean, the Good Brothers.
So, Cap.
I'm not going to sleep on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Cap, you saw, like, the New Day was on NXT last night, right?
I didn't watch NXT last night. I got to check it out.
Yeah.
But,
the New Day's fighting
really
pretty deadly tonight on Saturday night.
Oh, wow. That's going to be interesting. I'm not going to hold you.
Right. But I think the New Day's not winning, but Pretty Deadly's not losing either by, like, they'll win by cheating. Like, they'll disqualification or something silly. But, you know, do you really want the New Day to be the NXT Tag Team Champions?
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I say, why not? Don't lose the NXT champion.
I just don't think it makes a lot of sense.
For what, a hot minute?
Yeah, for like a month or two, build up some team.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just have Pretty Deadly get their win back.
Yeah, I think the New Day wins, but they don't win the belts. They win by, like, disqualification. Something weird happens, like, you know, they get counted out or they use a foreign object or something crazy like that. Me personally, I just don't see it. But again, who knows? Everything, you know, weird things have happened, right?
Oh yeah.
Wilder things have happened.
Yep. So I like the Ring of Honor is on before the NXT one. So that's actually going to be good Saturday TV because really there's no college football. There's no NFL games. So, I mean, what are you really watching during the day? Netflix until that stuff comes on, right? Are you watching both, right? Are you going to watch both of them?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I feel like the only thing that's going to interrupt that maybe is Golden State versus the Warriors on ABC, but
yeah,
I don't think it's going to interrupt it too much. Like, that's on at 8:30 on Saturday.
Oh, it's 8:30? Who are they playing on Saturday?
Golden State is playing the Celtics. Final rematch.
Oh, the Celtics.
Wow.
Okay. Nice.
NBA was like, all right, we're going to try to get some of that money.
Right. And I know Saturday night they have college basketball on Fox. It's Indiana versus Arizona, which, me personally, I'm not a college basketball fan until like March Madness time. Like right now, I can care less. Yeah.
Same. I can care less right now. But let me ask you guys this.
What's up?
Sure.
Would you like this move?
No, go ahead, man. You're good.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask, with it clearly being two directions that WWE can go in, what do you feel like is the smarter direction? Either going the Rock route or going the Cody Rhodes route when it comes to the Rumble and fighting Roman and all that good stuff?
We were just talking about this.
Yeah, we were. I would love to see Cody Rhodes come back and win the title. I do think he will be world champion eventually, but I think you go the Rock route.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah, let the Rock get his match out the way.
Yeah.
Cody could do 100 different things at WrestleMania.
Now, I threw a different name in the hat, and Jake and I were talking about this. What about Sami Zayn winning the Rumble and winning the title?
Oh, that'd be
not two titles. No, I didn't mention this to Jake. I should have mentioned this to Jake. Jake, what if he wins one of the two titles, not both of them?
That honestly might be more ideal because they should probably get one of those titles off of Roman because that was really a Vince move to unify the titles. So if Triple H wants to do his own thing, he should probably at least maybe only have Sami Zayn take one of those titles, and now maybe you could have Cody Rhodes come back and take only one. So I think that definitely works.
No, that's a fact. I thought it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
I had this one idea out there.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, now, what if Orton was able to sneak his way into this, and you do like a triple threat match between him, Orton, and Rock? I would love that.
Honestly, if Randy Orton's healthy, you could argue that he should be in the match over The Rock, but I just don't know if he'll be healthy.
Yeah, definitely that.
I would love that though. I love Randy Orton.
Yeah, I would love to see Orton get a title shot because he was supposed to fight him at SummerSlam, but ended up being Brock, so it was that. So, you know what? Since I was talking about this with Smooth, Cap, who do you think
Who do you think should win the Women's Royal Rumble?
Man, I probably would go with 507. Damn, I don't know. Rhea Ripley, maybe.
That would be interesting.
Have a good one. But I would want whoever wins the Rumble to go after the SmackDown title.
Yeah.
So they can just take it away from Ronda. But if I had to be honest, for one of the main events of WrestleMania, I need Charlotte Flair versus.
Absolutely. Smooth and I were talking about that. If Charlotte's healthy, I think she's gotta win it.
She'd win the Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, I really want to see her fight Bianca. That'll be mad dope.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'll be a good match. And then I mean, could you? I know Becky Lynch is on Raw, but could you see Becky Lynch fighting Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown title at WrestleMania?
I'm down for that.
Because I think personally, Ronda Rousey is a terrible wrestler and a terrible champion. Like, she's not very good.
She's not. I don't think she's awful, but she's not like blockbuster like Bianca or Charlotte is.
No, or Becky Lynch. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
I'll put her in the like second tier with like. That's what I'll probably say.
Now we were talking about the what they're doing with the U.S. title, which I love. I think they're making it a marquee title again, not like some filler title. What do you think?
I agree. I've been loving what they've been doing with that. Been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and you have literally 5 guys that could beat Seth Rollins Austin Theory for the title right now.
Yeah, you have Seth Rollins. You got Bobby Lashley.
Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I cannot stand Mustafa Ali.
I love his character. That he's like the Indian Rey Mysterio, always getting his ass whooped but never quit.
I don't know why.
I would love to see
I just don't think he's that good. I don't know why he's even still with the company. He didn't want to be here. They wouldn't let him go. Then he came back. He's not. He's not that good. I think they should just get rid of the guy.
But there's
another guy too. Go ahead. Yep.
I do agree that I would like to see the Miz get in that U.S. title picture.
Yes.
Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano. That's a really
definitely.
Little roster right there.
And on the flip side, with the Intercontinental belt, you have Ricochet, maybe Braun Strowman. Who's that other guy? God.
Santos.
What's that guy's name?
Who?
Yeah, that's the guy. I would love to see him in the Intercontinental Championship.
Yes, he's good. I like him as well.
And Selena Vega's got really big boobs all of a sudden.
That I did not expect on my show. Wow, she does though.
I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, she does though. Like,
maybe she got something done. You never know.
She did. Oh yeah, you can tell, bro.
Not like I like a lucky man.
Yeah, right. So are they gonna come back with the whole like King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring deal again? Because that was actually really good when they did it the first time.
I think they will.
I would think so.
They will. They just need to I think they need to take more care of that tournament and not just hotshot it. I really want them to really give that tournament its just due, like for real.
Definitely.
Well, they had it when they had the King of the Ring. They had it like an own pay-per-view, so they actually did the matches all in one night.
Yeah.
When the original King of the Ring came out.
For them to do.
Yeah. I think they should do that going forward. That'd be cool. And then have the King of the Ring and then Queen of the Ring in the same night. You could have all those matches. Then you could have, a couple the Intercontinental Championship and the U.S. Championship, maybe the Tag Champs. Obviously, you wouldn't defend the world title on that show, on that pay-per-view, but which is real interesting because, right after the Rumble is the Elimination Chamber. That's in February.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the belt's always on the line for that.
Yeah.
The World Championship, for sure.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting
It'll be
to see what they
interesting
do.
they put in the chamber.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, we're on talking about the Jake. We're talking some wrestling. We're talking about the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, I'm not sure who they would put in. You know, my guess, I think Kevin Owens is gonna fight Roman at the Royal Rumble. Obviously, Roman's gonna win, but I think Kevin Owens will get another shot at the Royal Rumble. You know, if
I
he
really hope it's what's his name?
who?
I really hope it's Sheamus.
Yes.
The last time they fought, nobody cared about it, and if they fought this time, they probably tear the house down.
I don't see why not. I love Sheamus. I love Sheamus's work.
I'm about to say, like, we need a Kevin Owens. Man. Most definitely. We need a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn moment, and not Royal Rumble.
Yes, we do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that would be good. They try to both throw each other off out of the ring at the same time.
I think those two are going to do something at either the Royal Rumble and the WrestleMania. They're going to do something.
Right.
And I see that, you know, they could have a moment in Elimination Chamber, too.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens could very well be in that match. I don't see why not.
Right. Him and Zayn, you could have Solo, and then maybe McIntyre, and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be dope.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap it here.
Oh man, for real?
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it here. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Smooth, and thank you, Tap. Thank you. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break until you know what, I'll probably I'll probably do like the 4 o'clock games. I'll go over those for the NFL, and then I'll wrap it there. So if you guys want to stick around for a few more minutes. All right, so Chiefs Broncos. I'm taking the Chiefs. Chiefs are best team in the AFC. Broncos are a dumpster fire. You got Panthers Seahawks. I'm gonna take Seattle. Carolina's a bit of a mess. Seattle's looking a lot better than we expected. Got Bucks 49ers. I'm going to take the Niners in that one. We'll see how Brock Purdy does. He's facing the good defense. Big test. He's facing Brady. But the Bucks, you know, I think the Niners are going to really get after Brady. Their O-line's banged up. The Niners got probably the best defense in the league. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins, Chargers. Both are coming off tough loss. So I'll go with Miami. Chargers, they got to get Staley out of there. He's a joke. I'm taking the Dolphins. Their Chargers defense is banged out. Monday Night Football, Patriots, Cardinals. I'll take New England. Kyler and the Cardinals are a bit of a mess. I'll take New England. And that's going to be a wrap. Thank you, Smooth. Thank you, Capper, for talking some wrestling and a bunch of other stuff with me. Until next time, probably won't be till after Christmas. So long. Have a great day.